Mantic have started working with the underworlds, as it were. I'll just pass you over to their news representative. Hello. In this video, we are going to look at the Nightstalkers for Kings of War Vanguard. These are near enough unlike any other force in any other game, unless the game's got something Cthulhu based, which I think Dust has a Cthulhu-esque faction, and I suppose Dead Zone has the Nameless, but yeah, these are like unlike anything else you've ever seen, I'd say. They are based on dreams, and they are literal manifestations of feelings, dreams, thoughts and fears. So, starting with the Warband special abilities, we've got Dread, uses 1 power to use. Nominate any one of your Nightstalker models on the table that is not fatigued. Pick one enemy model within 3 inches of the nominated Nightstalker. This model must immediately make a nerve test with a -1 modifier. If the test is failed, the model is marked as activated. Any rules that apply to nerve tests can be used normally. This ability can be used once in each Nightstalker turn and is not limited to 1 per round. So if you're able to get a lot of Nightstalkers down, you will cost a lot of activations. Does this mean both the enemy and the Nightstalker is activated, or does this just mean the enemy? Needs a little bit of FAQing, I think, there. So the faction specific spells, we've got Horrify, which is short, 6-inch range. No dice roll is necessary, and the line of sight is not required to target. The target must immediately make a fallback check with a -1 modifier, so they could run off pretty quickly. It's got a boosted version, cast a long action instead, as above, but the modifier is increased to -2, and a failure cannot be re-rolled for any reason. Oh, that can be really painful. Your opponent's near an objective, are they? Horrify them to make them move. Does this mean you can horrify someone out of close combat? It's something I'd like to know. Next spell is Fear the Darkness, which I don't know how their music plays now, but could be pretty bad. Long, 12-inch range, 1d8. Line of sight of the target is not required. If a hit is scored, instead of taking any wounds, the target is marked as both activated and fatigued, must then make a nerve test. If it is failed, the target is knocked down. Okay. So means they can't make and retaliate actions. I can see why it's only 1d8, because that one is really powerful, especially at 12-inch range. You don't usually see spells that powerful at that sort of range. So the grunts, starting with the Scarecrow, 8 points, 20mm base, speed 5, melee 6, no range stat, armor 6, nerve 4, 1 wound, height 2, stealthy and mob assault, 1d8 in melee, none at range. It's cheap, so that's why its stats are bad, but stealthy and mob assault could be quite good if you've got a lot of Scarecrows. Nerve's pretty good as well, but apart from that, you're kind of getting your points cost really. It's a bit chaffy, kind of what you expect. Next we have the Needle Fangs, 11 points, 40mm base. Speed 6, melee 5, no range stat, armor 6, nerve 4, 2 wounds, height 1. Stealthy, Swarm and Bloodlust. 2d8 in melee, none at range. It's just a swarm of eyes, tongues and mouths. Yeah. Hit on 5s, which isn't bad. Nerve of 5, which is good. 2 dice in melee. Bloodlust not bad for close combat capabilities. Stealthy and Swarm could be quite good for getting where you need to be. Plus being height 1, you can either hide behind or get around enemies a bit better than possibly a lot of other units can. I'd possibly just go for Scarecrows if you want a lot of grunts, because it's not bad for 8 points. It's still chaff, but it's still not bad. So next we have the Warriors, starting with the Spectre. 14 points, 20mm base. Speed of 6, melee of 7, range of 5, armor of 6, nerve of 3, 2 wounds, height 2. It's got stealthy. 1d8 in melee, 2d8 at range. It's got a range attack, which is Firebolt. 9-inch range, piercing 1. It's not bad. 14 points, 9-inch range with piercing 1. It's not terrible. Hitting on 5s with 2d8. Armor's pretty bad. Melee's pretty terrible, but nerve of 3, that could keep him in the game a fair bit. So next we have the Reaper. 16 points, 20mm base. Speed 5, melee 5, no range stat, armor 5, nerve of 3, 2 wounds, height 2. Crushing strength 1 and stealthy. 3d8 in melee, none at range. That's not bad at all. I thought it'd be a bit faster. Armor's not bad. Nerve of 3, brilliant. 3d8 hitting on 5s with crush strength 1. That's nothing to sneeze about. It's not bad at all. 16 points. It's slightly low armor. It's probably offset by the fact that nerve is good and it's got 3 dice in melee rather than its normal 2 that you get with models, that sort of thing. Next we have the Phantom. 14 points, 25mm base. Speed 5, melee 5, no range stat, arm 5, nerve 4, 2 wounds, height 2. Fly, stealthy and vicious. 2d8 in melee, none at range. It's just there to harass and outflank your opponents, that's kind of it. Other than that, it's not really that good at much else, kind of like it is in Kings of War itself. But it's not bad for a offensive sort of unit. It's kind of like the Gargoyle or Harpy, but at least looks like it could do some damage at least, while the Harpy and Gargoyle do not. Next we have the Horror. 12 points, 20mm base. Speed 5, melee 6, no range stat, armor 4, nerve 4, 2 wounds, height 2. It's got stealthy, 2d8 in melee. It's also got Baneshee, which friendly Nightstalker models, but not the model itself, which I'm assuming it's referring to this model, have the vicious special rule while within 6 inch of this model, which isn't bad at all. 12 points with armor 4 and nerve 4. Yeah, okay. It's more of a defensive and support warrior. It's not really meant to do the combat capabilities, because let's face it, a melee of 6 ain't going to get you very far very quick. Next it is the support, and it is the Shadow Hound. 17 points, cavalry base. Speed 7, melee 5, no range stat, armor 5, nerve 4, 3 wounds, height 2. Bloodlust, regeneration 6+, and stealthy. 2d8 in melee, none at range. It's a pretty good outflanking unit, it really is. It's fast, so you get it where you need to go. For support units that are just meant to rush at enemies, it's fairly cheap. Being 17 points, you could get quite a few of these in the fort quite easily. Armor 5 is not bad, nerve 4 is good, 3 wounds, can't complain. Regenerates, always welcome, and stealthy and bloodlust, really, really good. Next we have the large, which is the Butcher. 33 points, 40mm base. Speed 6, melee 5, no range stat, arm 4, nerve 3, 4 wounds, height 3. Stealthy, crush strength 2 and pound. 48 in melee, none at range. He's pretty good, all things be told. Speed cheap, I'd say. It's about 3-4 points too cheap, I reckon. Armor 4, it's got stealthy, which is just why. Nerve 4 means it ain't running away that quickly. 4 wounds is not bad either. Hitting on 5, crush strength 2 and 48. That is going to hurt. It might not seem anything special, but it's just a sledgehammer with tentacles and no eyes. What's more to say? Next we have the large spellcaster. It is the Mind Screech. 31 points, 50mm base. Gives 1 red power die. Speed of 4, no range melee stat. Range of 5, armor 5, sorry. I'll start again. Next we have the large spellcaster. It is the Mind Screech. 31 points, 50mm base. Gives 1 red power die. Speed of 4, no melee stat. Range 4, armor 5, nerve 4, 4 wounds, height 3. Stealthy and fly. It's got lightning bolt, which is long. Hammer, which is also long. No D8s for range and melee, though. Just spells it's got. Draw Dark Power, which uses 1 power. Use this ability when taking a cast action. Draw Dark Power allows the model to cast a long action spell as a short action, which is nice. If you've got enough power, you can cast both Lightning Bolt and Hammer. Although you could swap them with the Nightstalker spells, and that's not a bad option either. If you're able to, you could really get that what are they? That Fear of the Darkness. That could be really painful. What else has it got? All Seeing. The Mind Screech can draw line of sight and cast spells all around in both its front and rear arcs, which can't complain at that. It just gives you more options of who to target your spells at. No wrong there. No wrong there whatsoever. It's not bad for its points cost. It might seem a bit weak considering it can't attack offensively itself, but its spells and its ability to just see wherever it needs. Being Heart 3, you've got a bit of sight wherever you need it, pretty much. Next we have the large command. It is the Butcher Flesh Ripper. 41 points, 40mm base. Gives 1 white power die. Speed of 6, melee of 4, range of 1, armor 4, nerve of 3, 4 wounds, height 3. Crusher Strength and Crush Strength 2 and Stealthy. 3d8 in melee, not at range. Well, hang on. The basic Butcher has got an extra d8 in melee. Doesn't hit as well, being melee 5 rather than melee 4. Other than that, it's kind of similar. How many points is the Butcher? So it's 8 points less. So for them extra 8 points, you're getting a extra pip in melee. You're getting a white power die. That's kind of your lot, really. That's rather expensive. Maybe... I don't know, make it slightly cheaper. I don't know, about 2-3 points cheaper, I'd say. It's not bad. It's just kind of like a slightly upgraded Butcher, but it's got 1 less dice, which is a trade-off. Yeah, I think it's about 3 points too much, if I am honest. Next you have the command, starting with the Reaper Soul Drinker. 28 points, 20mm base, gives 2 red power die. Speed 5, melee 5, no range stat, armor 4, nerve 3, 2 wounds, height 2, crush strength 1 and stealthy. 2d8 in melee, none at range. Soul Thirst, which is short, use an action. Friendly Nightstalker models, but not the model itself, this one I'm guessing. While within 6 inches of this model, gain 1 bonus dice for any melee attack that they make until the end of the current round. Which is nice. That includes retaliations, which is nice. Strange it hasn't got 3d8 in melee like other Reapers, but hey ho. What's Reaper getting? It's kind of like an expensive Reaper. It's about almost twice the points cost. So you are getting that Soul Thirst. You're getting 2 power dice. You're getting a better armor. Again, I think it's slightly expensive. I think it's 3 points too expensive for me. Yeah, I can't help thinking that's the thing, unfortunately. Next we have the Shade, 40 points for 20mm base. 2 white power dice. Ooh. Speed 7, melee 4, no range stat. armor 4, 3 wounds, height, nerve 3, 4 wounds, height 2. Fly and stealthy. 3d8 in melee, none at range. Cause fear, which uses 2 power. Used when the model activates. All enemy models within 6 inches of the shade must immediately take a nerve test. Any models that fail are marked as fatigued. Nice. I can see why it needs 2 power to be used. This could really be painful. It's got fly and speed 7. It's more of an harassment hero command, sorry. It's got nerve 4, armor of nerve 3 and armor of 4, so it ain't gonna go away that quickly. And 4 wounds. It's not cheap, but the harassment options it could bring can be really painful. Next we have the Banshee. 39 points, 20 mil base, gives 1 blue power die. Speed 6, melee 4, no range stat, armor 3, nerve of 3, 3 wounds, height 2. Stealthy and fly, 3d8 in melee, none at range. Whale uses 2 power to use. Use when the model activates. All standing enemy models within 6 inches of the Banshee must immediately make a nerve test. Any models that fail must immediately make a walk action directly away from the Banshee using their full speed value, moving as far away as possible, using the new normal movement rules. Models that are moved are not activated or fatigued unless already marked as such before any effects from Whale are applied. Does this mean if they're in combat they have to do an armor roll for breaking away? This needs to be in there. Again, like the shade, it's a good harassment option. The model looks freakish as all hell, which could help with that. It's not bad in close combat either. You could give it a two-handed weapon and it fared pretty well. Although you could leave it as it is, and being its armor 3 on an 8-sided dice, that is going to be hard to get rid of. You could just use it there, just flinging itself at enemies in close combat, not doing anything, but not getting any damage in return. Honestly, I think it's the best command option. Although the shade is a very close second. They are a faction that I don't think is a good starter faction. Reason being is that their stats are a bit all over the shop, but they are good for what they do. They have good spell casting options. They have good options for moving enemies about where you need them to be, especially with the command. They've got good crushing strength options. They've got good supporting options, supporting each other options. And that's what you need to do. They are a force that to make them work really effectively, you need the synergies to pull off. It's not like the Basileans where you've got plenty of armour or some not bad shooting and you can weather some attacks here and there, and not everything needs to work with everything else to work well. This faction really does. You need stuff to do what they do because they can't really do other things that well. Everything is set into a role and you have to build each model in your force to do that specific role. Other than that, they look freakish as all hell, and like I said, there's no other force like them. So, with that being said, thank you for watching. Goodbye for now.